Hello, this is BJ from Read It Again. I am here with you from my apartment. I am recording this in my apartment and I do have electricity. So that was one of the big concerns. What am I going to see when I finally was able to come back to my house, look at my apartment? I do have electricity. I do have water. The water is a bit colorful, so I probably wouldn't trust it for anything, including washing. But it was so beautiful to be able to come back to my apartment, to change, to take a wet wipe shower, to be able to brush my teeth, use deodorant, to be able to come back, see everything in my fridge is still in my fridge. My ice cream in the freezer it's soft ice cream, but it's still held its shape. It's not a slushy. It's not milk. Everything is still here. It's good. Some minor things have fallen, but it doesn't look like I've broken anything of real value. So I'm blessed. I am very lucky. There's actually I think I just noticed, just one minor crack in my room. So everything here is fairly good. I do not have heat here. So there is no way I would consider spending the night here yet. Last night it was about -4 degrees. So I'm going to stay where other people are, where there's blankets that can be shared, where there's electricity and at least some heat. How much heat can you pump into a gym? But it's much better than -4, where my room would be the same temperature as the outside. Not yet. That's probably the biggest concern right now. I was able to walk it. I walked about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours from my school back to my apartment. I didn't come a straight line. I kind of snaked around to look at the city, to see what happens. And I only saw one building that had collapsed. I've heard many stories, and I know I wasn't expecting a lot in this part of the area, but in my neighborhood, in the school's neighborhood, but I expected to see more than I did. That surprised me in a good way. I passed thousands of buildings. Of those, there was probably about 30, maybe as many as 50 buildings that just by looking at it, I probably wouldn't want to go inside those buildings. The facade is, cracked enough, and there's enough obvious, evident damage that I wouldn't trust it in case I happened to be in there when another earthquake came. But most of the buildings, that's a very minor percentage. Most of the buildings, there was, probably in 1 in 3, maybe 1 in 4 buildings, there were some new significant cracks, some plaster that had fallen, maybe some broken glass. But mostly everything is still standing, far more than what you're probably seeing on the news and what you're hearing. That's a good thing, but that's not the biggest danger. Right now for us, the biggest danger is the infrastructure. There are still many people sleeping in their cars. I probably passed 200, maybe as many as 500 cars where either people were in the cars in the moment, or there's all blankets and everything is in there that obviously people are living in those cars right now simply because they don't trust their buildings and they don't trust being inside. And honestly, 4 people in one car is a lot warmer than 4 people in one flat or one apartment. So they're still doing that, but we have no new gas coming into the city. What I've been told, and I've heard it from sources that I trust to have heard it from legitimate sources, is that no new gas is coming into the city. So when the gas stations run out, they're out. When those cars run out of gas, when those batteries are dead, what are they going to do? They can keep it warm now, but that won't last for 2, 3, 4, 5 a week. Things need to happen. I saw probably 4 or 5 distribution centers, some restaurants, and some were actually just outside areas where people could come get soup and bread. I actually even stopped at one of them and got some soup and bread on my way here. So there was 5 or 6 of those. I don't think anyone's going to be starving to death, because if you need food, it's not good. It's not a lot. But it seems like enough food from volunteers from other cities have already been bringing in food and bringing in things like that are there. There is 2 of my friends stayed in a bread line yesterday. They waited 4 hours for essentially 6 loaves of bread. This morning I was able to get some poaches. They're like little, like the inside of a bagel really is. It's just a small breaded breakfast roll, I guess you'd call them. They're only selling that, no flavors, no other types, only selling those. But I was able to get, well, 50 liras worth. It was probably about 25 little powages. So and again, I waited maybe 10 minutes for those. So there is food available. Many of the grocery stores, nothing else is open, but many of the grocery stores are being opened. So dry goods and dry things are available. There's plenty of water. Right now, we have probably enough water to drink just what we've got for the next 2 or 3 days. So there is that, but the cold, the weather, and then the infrastructure. I have electricity in my apartment, but I'm lucky. There are others that have gone back to their apartments that they don't. I have running water. It's, like I said, it's kind of a slight rusty brown tint to it, so I wouldn't trust it. But there is water here. Others I know that don't have any water. I don't have gas. That's pretty much true everywhere. There is no gas for heating anywhere. And it was, like I said, -4. So that's the big concern. But I am okay. I am safe. I am staying with friends and with other people that I know, that I care for and love, and they love me. And so we have community. We have each other. Many are trying to get out of the city right now. A lot of the roads are still backed up. A lot of the roads, there was some serious damage on a lot of the major highways, but routes have been out. I know buses are leaving, but there's many more people wanting the buses than are actually getting them at this point. So there's a queue. There's a line. There's people waiting. I know people that bought tickets for airplane flights out on Monday. You know what I mean? So what's available is booked pretty much through. Everyone is trying to evacuate the city. I honestly think I'll stay here. I have an option if I need to take it to evacuate. That's available with people that are coming and bringing in supplies, emergency supplies, blankets, porta potties, food, things like that. I can get out with them if I've needed. That offer is there, but I think I am going to stay just because I think this is where I need to be right now. And it's not a good situation, but it's not. I think the immediate danger has passed for everyone except for those that the cold is still the issue, and that's the biggest issue. So if you're praying, if you're sending out thoughts and prayers, that's where it's at. I'm sorry it took me 6 months to post on Read It Again. I was planning on posting very soon with some very good news, but that can wait for now. But anyways, this is BJ. Go read it again.